channel. Today is Foundation Friday and I am so excited about this foundation in particular because this is a new foundation and concealer from Juvia'S place. It is called I Am Magic, and so many of you guys have been asking for me to review this, so here we are. I'm super excited about it. Now this is going to be a pretty thorough review. I will leave timestamps in the description box down below for those of you that already know about the brand and about the shades and the kingdoms that are in the shades and all of that. I will leave a timestamp so you guys can just skip ahead and go to the tutorial so you guys can see how it applies, how it wore throughout the day, and then my final thoughts. So I will leave all that in the description box down below. But for those of you guys that are not really familiar with Juvia'S place, the brand or the foundation or concealer, this part is for you. We're going to get into it and I'm going to briefly talk about the brand just for a moment. So the brand started in 2014 and the owner, now I'm going to botch it and I know I am, I botch everything and I hate it so bad. It's like one of my worst pet peeves about myself is I can't pronounce anything. So the owner's name is Shishi Aburu. She is Nigerian born and she started the brand, you guys, with $2,000. Incredible, right? Starting an entire makeup brand, beauty brand, with $2,000 and having it what it is today is just absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Like, it just goes to show you that you can do anything you set your mind to. You work hard and you can do anything. Let me read you guys the mission statement behind the foundation and concealer launch. So it says, in a society where there's a pressure to be picture perfect, at Juvia'S place, we believe beauty comes in different forms, colors, shapes, and sizes. Regardless of what skin color you are, the most beautiful thing is confidence and loving yourself. You are magic. So I really like that mission statement, and we're going to talk about the foundation first. So this is how it comes, and I actually like it like this. I know some people were like, well, I wish it came with a pump, but you guys, this is a pretty dang affordable foundation, and I would rather have it in a squeezy tube and keep the cost down so that many people can enjoy it, rather than jack the price up and have a fancy bottle that gets thrown away anyway. The thing that I like about the squeezy tube is that it's small enough that you can control how much comes out. And if you get too much, you can just kind of, basically put it back in there. It's not that hard to stick it back in there. So I don't mind the packaging. I actually kind of like it, and I love the color of it. It's like this really pretty peachy coral shade, which you guys know I'm a peach fan, so there's that. It retails for $20 and you get 30 mils, 1 fluid ounce. This foundation, you guys, is 66 cents per milliliter. I mean, that's amazing. And they have so many shades. They have 42 different shades. So this is just a step above like drugstore, but you have such a wide variety of shades that it's incredible. I'm obsessed. So this foundation is actually made in Italy, which, as you guys know, Italy is known to have really, really good labs, and they do a really good job with formulations. And, Italy is kind of like where, if you want to produce a really nice product, Italy is kind of where you're going to want to create it. So it's made in Italy. It's full coverage. The shelf life on this, you guys, is 24 months. Can you believe this foundation will last 2 years? I love the shelf life on this. I love that so much because some of my foundations have already gone bad that I bought last year. Ugh. It is claiming to be long-lasting, all-day wearability, velvet matte finish, and it is vegan and cruelty-free. So the shades are a part of 3 kingdoms. Those kingdoms are light, medium, and dark. And within those kingdoms, there are 8 families of shades. And they include deepest dark, deep dark, dark, rich tan, tan, medium, light, and very light. So I love that they kind of separated it that way. I think it makes it easier to kind of find your shade once you find out which family you're a part of. then you can go strictly to that family and look for your shade, which I appreciate. There are 4 undertones within this foundation. There is a warm, cool, neutral, and olive undertone. Before I move on to the concealers, let me give you guys a little bit of information and background to who I am, what I look for when I'm reviewing foundations, because I do think that's pretty important. So I just turned 40 and, you know, I have hyperpigmentation. I suffer from adult acne, especially like right here, more hormonal acne. So I do have to kind of be careful with mattifying foundations, being that I am 40. I do have some wrinkles and some texture and stuff like that. So as I've gotten older, I am more dry normal, more dry in the winter. Right now I'm a little bit more on the normal side, but normally I stay away from velvet matte finishes just because for me, they seem to really dry my skin out and look cakey and gross. I like a matte, it's more of a satin matte. I like a little bit of a dewier finish. So this one was kind of intriguing to me because I was like, you know, it's a velvet matte finish, but I want to see if I can make it work. For those of you out there who are dry normal and maybe you really want to support the brand and, you know, or maybe the brand has created a shade for you and you want to make it work, I'm going to try this foundation 3 different ways. So today is Tuesday and it's the first day that I'm wearing it. Today I applied it with the Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream just underneath it, and then I applied this over top. And I did do a light dust of powder over top, which was just my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish. And just to kind of like smooth everything out, I really like that powder over my pores and stuff. And tomorrow I am going to mix it with the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Oil. I will mix it inside of it just a little bit, just to kind of maybe see if maybe the oil will help it to be a little bit more radiant, which is what I prefer. And then finally, I'm just gonna wear it like I would any other foundation, which would be with my Bobbi Brown Vitamin Rich Face Base. This is the primer that I wear pretty much with every foundation. So I wanna try it all 3 different ways. I'm gonna wear it for 12 hours every single day or longer, just to really get to know the foundation and kind of really get to understand how it wears. And then I'm gonna give you guys my full final thoughts on Thursday night, and of course this video will go up on Friday. So let's jump into these jumbo concealers. I was shocked when I got these concealers. I don't have a Too Faced Born This Way concealer on me. I think my daughter's got both of mine, and she's actually at my mom's house for the week, so I don't have the 2 to show you, but these are huge. Like, these are huge concealers. There are 24 shades within this concealer. These are $14 each for 0.34 ounces, which is 10 milliliters. That's a lot of concealer, you guys. And that makes it $1.40 per milliliter. So extremely affordable. So the foundation was 66 cents per milliliter, and now you have the concealer at $1.40 per milliliter. So I really appreciate that. Just to compare it to the Born This Way, the Born This Way concealer is $29 for a half ounce, which is 15 mils, and it retails for $1.93. The Too Faced Born This Way concealer is pretty affordable for being high-end, so I definitely wanted to use that as a comparison. The other comparison I did is way more expensive. So the new Jeffree Star concealer, which is the Magic Concealer, this retails for $22 for 0.15 fluid ounces, okay? And that is 3.4 mils. And that makes it $6.47 per milliliter. This is a very expensive concealer. I think it was just a little bit cheaper than the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Away concealer, which is very expensive. So let's get into the details on it. It's supposed to be a full coverage that is weightless. It is supposed to be super comfortable. It is supposed to conceal eye circles, hyperpigmentation, redness, and blemishes. And the shades on this are divided into 6 different families. The foundation was divided into 8, and the concealers are divided into 6. So it starts with Deepest Dark, which is number 1 through 4. Then it's Deep Dark, which is number 5 through 8. And then it's Dark, number 9 through 12. And Tan, number 13 through 16. Medium, which is number 17 through 20. And Light, which is number 21 to 24. It goes from darkest to light. So I chose shade 16, which is described for tan skin with a golden undertone, and shade 18 was for medium to tan skin with a golden olive undertone. And actually the shades on these are perfect. I have started to kind of move away from having a really bright light under eye. I used to buy my concealers pretty light and I just don't do that anymore. This one is shade 16 and this is 18. Remember, 16 is darker than 18. I think the shade on these are perfect, and I really love the way that they match my skin tone. Now for the foundations, as you guys know, I am a medium with a warm golden undertone. That's typically how I buy majority of my foundations. I chose Tangier, which is 520, and Aruba, which is 510. Aruba is described as a medium skin tone with a golden undertone. Tangier is described as a medium skin with a warm undertone. I didn't know if I was going to be a warm or a golden, which is the reason why I bought both shades, because I just did not really know which one to do. So this is Aruba and this is Tangier, and today I actually show you me applying both shades, but Aruba was really yellow, almost to the point where I looked a little bit jaundiced. So I went with Tangier, and I'm glad I did, because Tangier just matches my skin so much better. And for references, if you guys think that you're close to my skin tone, I will leave a full list in the description box down below of not only foundations that I wear in what shades, but also a few concealers that I wear in the shades that I wear them in. So maybe that will be helpful for you guys, but Tangier was definitely a really good shade. To find your shade, if you go to the Juvia'S Place website, you'll see where it'll have all those shades listed. If you keep scrolling down, you will see where it says I Am Magic Foundation lineup, and I just keep clicking until I get to my shade. So it starts with the deepest and it kind of just goes through the family. So I just kind of keep scrolling and keep kind of doing this business until I find my shade family. And you'll see at the bottom it says Somalia is for dark tan skin tones with warm undertones, and so you'll start seeing where you're coming up, whether you're in the deep dark or the tan or the medium, whatever you're in. If you just keep scrolling, reading the bottom, you'll finally get to the shade that is described for your skin tone. So that's all the information on the concealer and the foundation. Let's jump right into the first tutorial and the first application of me kind of showing you guys how I apply it and show you guys what both shades look like. And then I will do a midday check-in, and then I will come back Thursday evening to give you guys my full final thoughts on the foundation and concealer. So I will see you guys then. Okay, so my FedEx actually delivered this earlier than it normally does. Normally my FedEx doesn't come till like 2, so it's 11 a.m. So it's normally, I like to start my foundation process like right around like 9:30-ish. But I am so excited. Well, they're out backwards, but I am so excited. Yay! I got 2 foundations and 2 concealers. We're gonna get into it. These are really golden and really warm, so they have really warm undertones in them. This one is the Givenchy in 310, Y310. And then the one that I just put over here is this new one that I got from La Mer, which is a really good shade for me. It's Suede 33. So Suede 33 is so much more like gray almost next to these two, and it's because these two are so warm. So they have very rich, warm, yellow, golden undertones. I think I might go in with Aruba, and I really don't, oh, she's really warm. Oh shit. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to spread this all over. I went in just a little bit, and I need to spread this all around. Did you see how far that went? I dipped my brush into a tiny bit of this, you guys, like a tiny freaking bit. I think I'm gonna wipe my face off and put this on just so that you guys can see what both shades look like, because this is pretty yellow. I almost look jaundiced, and I'm not living for that look. So I'm gonna go ahead and go upstairs, wash my face, and I will be right back. Okay, so I'm back fresh-faced, what am I talking? I'm back, fresh-faced and ready to put this shade on. This looks really good. I'm going to pull you guys in just a minute, but now I'm going to move on to the concealer. And I did get 2 shades in the concealer. I can't get this one off. Shit, I can't get it off. I can't get this unscrewed. I can't get it unscrewed. This, I can't.
5 minutes later.
I can't get this unscrewed. I can't get the top off. Like maybe I need to go run it underneath cold water or hot water. Oh my gosh. I can't get it off.
2,000 years later.
Oh, I finally got it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this was screwed on a little bit too tight in the factory, but at least it's sealed. About dug up my hands. See how red my hands are from trying to get that open? Woo. So I think I'm gonna go with C18, or not C18, J18. My bad. Now I did wipe off a lot of on the applicator. I know it looks like I go in with a lot, but I really don't. I wipe off a lot of it, and then if I have too much on my finger, I wipe it off. But I've been really enjoying blending in my concealers with my fingers, so that's what I'm going to do with this one. Okay, so this is Aruba, and this is what it looks like wet. This is what it looks like dry. So it oxidizes a little bit, you guys. But it's not like it's totally different. You know what I mean? Like I've had foundations where they're completely different shade range, like shade families. So okay, so this is what it looks like with the beauty light on first. I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then I'll shut the lights off. But this is what it's looking like. It's a very natural, like silky type foundation. And it could be because I have the Touch It skin cream underneath it. And I feel like it's very natural and very skin-like. It's just really pigmented. And I think that's the thing that I struggle with applying it, is trying to get an even application with it being so pigmented. And the other problem with it is because it is so pigmented, it's almost like I need an exact match to my skin in order for it to really melt in. You know what I mean? So we'll see how it goes, but I think this looks really good. All right, I'm gonna shut off the ring light. As you can see, this is what it looks like in more natural lighting. That means I have 2 umbrella lights sitting in the corner. I'm sitting in front of a window, but it's not like direct sunlight, but it is daylight. And this is what it's looking like. And it's very skin-like. I mean, it looks like my skin. So this is what the concealer is looking like with the ring light on, but it does kind of feel like it has a little bit of like a dry oil type texture to it, but it really blends nice, and I like it so far. So that's it for this application portion of the video. I will see you guys in my first check-in. Okay, so I wanted to pop on here really quick and give you guys a midday check-in. So it is currently 7:30. So I've had this on now for what, I think I didn't get this on till almost noontime by the time I like did all the shades and all that. So let's just say noontime. So I've had it on for about 7.5 hours now, and I really like this. I really like it. Like, I don't really feel like I have foundation on, which is really nice, but I don't feel like it looks creasy in any way. I don't feel like it's exaggerating my texture. I think everything looks so flawless, like so flawless. Like, with that Touch It dewy skin cream, it's very natural. And as you guys can see, my natural oils are able to come through. So even though this is a velvet matte finish, with that Touch It skin cream, I still have my natural oils coming through, and it's kind of giving me a dewy look, which I am never mad at. I really like this full coverage foundation. So far, like, I really like it. I really like it. It looks so good. And this is what the concealer looks like up close. I haven't messed with it at all. And remember, I don't set my under eyes, so there's no powder on my concealer. I did powder with a little bit of the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish powder. But other than that, I didn't put any setting powders or anything over top of this, which I kind of feel like I could have. With that Tatcha skin cream underneath it, it's reminding me of this one, which this has been like my holy grail. If I can replace this expensive one with this one, I will be in heaven. All right, let's turn off the ring light. This is what we're looking like, and this is so beautiful. And I actually really like the undertone of this. When you first put it on, it's a little bit much, but it almost, like, this foundation is weird, and I haven't watched a lot of reviews on it just because I kind of like to keep my opinion my own. And then once I review it, then I go ahead and, you know, binge watch everybody's opinion on it. But this foundation almost warms up to your skin. It's almost like it, when you first put it on, you're like, holy shit, that's strong. That's a tough undertone. But then it almost like color, like, I don't know. I love the way this looks. Oh my gosh, I love this. I freaking love this. I love it so much. It looks so beautiful. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So far, I'm loving it. So the next time you guys see me, I will come back Thursday evening and I will give you guys my full thoughts on this. But so far, I love this. So I will see you guys Thursday evening in my final thoughts. Okay, you guys, so it is Thursday evening around 11:30 at night. I think I applied this right around 9:30 this morning. So today I've actually had it on for 14 hours. So I've been really wearing the crap out of this, like wearing it for as long as I possibly can. There are a few things that I have had to kind of tweak that I don't like, and I'm gonna get into that in just a minute. But I wanna pull you guys in so you guys can see what this looks like 14 hours later. So again, this is what we're looking like 14 hours later. And yeah, my coverage has, you know, faded, but it wears off so naturally. And I think that's the thing that I've really, really enjoyed about it, is it does just wear off very natural. And it does kind of give me a radiance, which I'm going to get into all that in a second. But I just want you guys to see what this looks like 14 hours later. So let's turn off the ring light. Now, as you can see, I've lost all the coverage right around here, and it's probably showing up on camera more like detailed and defined than it is in real life. But in real life, can't really tell that I'm missing foundation right here because everything just kind of wears off very naturally with the foundation. And so let me get into my final thoughts. So the first day, as you guys know, I wore it with the Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream, and I really liked it with that. The second day, which was yesterday, I decided to put a tiny drop of the primer oil in with it. I don't recommend that at all because this foundation kind of has its own oily type. It's a dry oil almost type texture. So it's very pigmented, so it's a little bit hard to blend out. I'm gonna get into the negatives about it in just a minute. This oil just made it worse. So I had to take it off. I could not wear it with it. It would not stick to my face. And in my opinion, there's already some type of like a natural oil in it, or there's some type of oil in it that when you put like a foundation oil in it, it doesn't work. So I did not have any luck with that. Yesterday, I wore it with my Ole Henriksen Banana Bright Face Primer and loved it. Loved it, loved it. And then today I wore it with my tried and true love affair Bobbi Brown Vitamin Rich Face Base. So that's what I had on underneath it today. Let me get into the few things that I see that could be problematic about the foundation. So the thing that I struggle with is blending it into my hairline. And I do not like foundation kind of gunking up in my hairline. This is one that will. And I think it's because of that dry oil texture. It likes to kind of cling to hair, which that's one of my biggest pet peeves is I do not like foundation in my hair. So I have to work a little bit harder to put this foundation on. Some of my other foundations will kind of, I can like even take like a dry sponge and kind of go like this and pick up any of the extra product that's sitting in my hair. This one, not so much. Yesterday, when I wore it with the Banana Bright primer, I got it a little bit too heavy in this area, and it wore heavy in that area. So if you have wrinkles or you have enlarged pores or anything like that, be very careful and apply a very thin layer in that area. I went in with a sponge, and I think I went in a little bit too heavy-handed with it, and it became too thick in that area. And then I started getting like real deep crease smile lines in, like right through here, and right through here, and then obviously right here on my pores, which I don't have really enlarged pores, but I do have creeping skin starting here. And now I don't go heavy on my hyperpigmentation because I don't like my foundation gunked up in my hair. I try not to pack a bunch of foundation on my hyperpigmentation. So I just grown to just be okay with my hyperpigmentation coming through on the foundation. I don't recommend going in thick and heavy with this foundation. You really need to go in with a light hand to apply this. It's pigmented enough that you really don't need to go in heavy-handed. Go in with a very light layer and kind of work in sections is how I did it today, and I loved it the most. I also really don't recommend a brush like this or a brush like this where it's a more kabuki type. Today I went in with this type of a brush where, this is the IT Cosmetics Heavenly Luxe foundation brush number 7, and I kind of just lightly went over it and dusted it into my skin and just really put a light, even a layer all over. And then I went in with a sponge, but if you're not careful, because this texture is like a dry oil type texture, if you're not careful, your sponge will grab it and then it will remove all of the product. It doesn't remove some of it, it removes all of it in certain spots. Whatever part of the sponge that you're gonna go in with your face, make sure that it is covered with foundation. Now, you don't wanna apply more, but you at least wanna have some foundation on that section so that when you go in, you don't pick up some of it, because I really think that in order for me to wear this, I do need to smooth it out with a sponge. But if I don't go in and maybe you only need a little bit of this foundation, by the way. You literally need a little bit. I feel like these do have stronger undertones, so just be aware of that when you are purchasing whatever shade that you are. You can purchase this on the Ulta website. I think they're gonna start carrying it in stores. If they don't already, I would call your local Ulta and see if they have it in store. And today, I forgot to tell you, so today I went in with my Hourglass Veil setting powder, and I just lightly dust. Now, you guys, I don't do any kind of baking. I don't put a ton of powders on my face. All I do is kind of, go into the rim of it, and I kind of just dusted my face. I prefer a powder with this. So I'm dry normal. I normally don't really like setting powders. I'm kind of getting into powders, but I do like a powder with this, whether I used my Charlotte Tilbury finishing powder or I used this Hourglass powder. I feel like this foundation performs and looks its best with some sort of a powder over top of it. So don't be afraid that it's a velvet matte finish, because I've never felt like this was a matte finish. So don't be afraid of the velvet matte. I do really like this. I'm really impressed with it. If you first try this and you don't like it, keep trying it. Keep applying it different ways. Kind of mess around with it. Maybe before you go to bed, just start kind of playing around with it and applying it and kind of learning how to apply it, because I think once you master how to apply it, you will really like this. And I feel like this works for dry, normal, combo, oily. Now, if you're really dry and maybe you have dry patches, this might not be one for you because it could cling, because it clings to my hair. If you have dry patches, this might cling to that. But other than that, I like this. I am so excited. You guys are going to be seeing me use this quite often because I love this foundation. The concealer is not my favorite, and the reason is because I just don't really maintain coverage. And this entire time that I have worn it, I have started to lose coverage right around in this area. I would say probably like 7-8 hours in. And the other thing is I don't feel like it gives me the coverage that I need down here, because this is where I kind of start getting the circles. I love the shades of it though. Like I love, love, love the undertones of it. I'm going to continue to kind of wear it, and maybe this is a concealer that less is more. And even though I wipe off a lot of the applicator, maybe I just need to do like maybe 2 or 3 dots and kind of blend it in and then just bring up the foundation a little bit higher to give me that coverage. We'll see. I'm going to continue to play around with it. I don't love the concealer like I do the foundation, but it is a decent concealer. It does kind of have that dry oil texture. So in my opinion, the concealer is very similar to the foundation. I just don't feel like it has the longevity, and I don't feel like it has quite as much pigment as the foundation, but I am in love with the foundation. I think it's an amazing foundation. I think they nailed it. They nailed it. Doing all of the research that I've done for this video, I've really done some research on the brand, and I've read some interviews from the owner, and I think this is a true amazing brand. And I feel like, you know, now that I have kind of gotten to know the brand, it was kind of a brand that I wasn't familiar with. Now that I've gotten to know the brand and kind of knowing the history behind the brand, now I really want to like jump in and start really supporting the brand. Start buying more Juvia'S Place and playing around with it and reviewing it for you guys, because I do think that they are a very special brand. I've really respected their hard work ethic that they've put into this brand. They started with $2,000. They started out at nothing, and she had a dream and she fulfilled it, and I think it's incredible. And so, you know, for me, I like supporting brands like that, and I'm all about it. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I'm sorry this was a longer video, but you guys know I'm a thorough girl. I can't help myself. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you guys again for all the love that you guys show me and my channel. You guys absolutely mean the world to me, and I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend filled with love and happiness. I will see you guys in my next video, and I love you all so much. Bye!